and so forth. So if you're under 1,000 views, it means that you've passed the first couple of tests, but you've not passed any more. And all I mean by tests is TikTok will push your video out to a couple hundred people, and the only metric they're really going to consider when determining whether to push your content out more is the watch time of your videos. And this is in relation to how long your content is. So you're stuck under 1,000 views because your watch time just isn't high enough for TikTok to push it out further. Now, there are plenty of reasons as to why this will happen, from down to the topic of the video, from down to getting your video to land on the right FYPs, from down to how well TikTok understands the category of your video as a whole, so on and so forth. But the main thing we've seen get people over 1,000 views if they haven't before is by optimizing the first 3 seconds of the content. And this is from a visual hook, text hook, and an audio hook perspective. And the reason why it works just boils down to this. If people know that the video is going to be for them and they have some idea as to what the video is going to include sooner rather than later, of course they're going to stay around for a little longer. So here's very quickly how to optimize those 3 different hooks. First, your visual hook. This doesn't have to do with anything about what the video is actually on. All you need is something visually striking or moving within the first couple frames of your video that will get people to actually stop scrolling when they see it and actually give your video a chance. The next hook is you're going to have a text hook on screen. And this is just a little bit of text that's on screen when the video starts. So when people give your video a chance, they can read it like that. And your text hook has to give some form of information as to what the video is about. It can't be anything general because then people will just think your video is general. You've got to use this text hook to either introduce a main topic, to try and hint as to who you're talking to, so on and so forth. And we've seen adding that alone and making sure that's right can have a massive impact on views. And finally, you've got your audio hook. And this is whatever you say within the first 3 seconds. And similarly to the text hook, it's got to relate to the topic of the video, and you've got to relate to your audience and try and set up what's actually coming in the video. Hopefully now you know this, you'll make sure you're getting right into it. You don't have any, hi guys, you don't have any, you don't have a break before the video starts. You've got a limited amount of time to grab the attention from the right audience, so make sure you're using the first 3 seconds to do it. Now, as I mentioned before, there is a lot to learn on breaking out of low view jail, like we helped Susan do here. So if you want to see results like her, we have a free version of the community that she joined to do so, where we're introducing you to the topics you need to understand. We have options for account breakdowns, one-on-one coaching calls, so much more. So to access that, just click the link in our bio and I'll see you over there.
There are 3 main types of viewers or ICPs, ideal customer profile. And the way you determine which viewer you are targeting, you're making your content for, will literally dictate everything. It'll dictate your business. It'll dictate your comparables, who you compare yourself to, like your inspiration. It'll dictate what metrics you go to. So I'm going to break it down. I'm going to talk about the 3 types of viewers. I'm going to talk about what they like and what they need. And I'm going to talk about mistakes that just so many people make whenever they are misaligned on their actual type of viewer. Okay, viewer number 1. These numbers mean absolutely nothing, and I should probably have a way better title for them, but this is how I think about it. I call the first group of viewers the 0 to 1s. The 0 to 1s. This is a group that has not started anything. They've never done anything. Okay? It can either be a bunch of 16-year-olds that really want to get into a certain space. It could be a bunch of beginners. Whatever it is, these are the people who need to go from 0 to not starting to 1, their first step. And theoretically for me, it's online business. They need to make their first couple $100 in whatever space that is, right? This is the Iman Gadzhi crowd. If you know Iman, this is that's probably the best. He goes low ticket, really tries to cash in on some of these younger, super inspired and super motivated by cool cars and money and watches and stuff like that. That crowd. But then the second group is the 1 to 2s. Very creative grouping names here. The 1 to 2s are people who are already started. They're looking to invest in themselves. They don't have massive budget, but they understand kind of the cycles of business. They're willing to put maybe a couple grand into themselves to truly get going. And they've probably already done it. They've seen a little bit of success. They just need to basically build systems, scale their business, etc., scale their product a little bit more, crack into the next layer. These people, this is probably where you get most of the educators online. Okay, this is where these info product guys would fall into. They sell an info course that's probably $2 to $7 grand, and they're going after this 1 to 2 crowd, and it's a great crowd. I love this crowd. I think these followers are super quality, and the next stage is the 2 to 3s, the 2 to 3 range. These people are successful, and what they need is extremely, extremely small incremental adjustments that have exponential growth. These are people that are doing $1 million a year, okay? And the way you talk to them has to be different. In fact, if you try to talk to 0 to 1s and try to talk to 2 to 3s, the 2 to 3s are going to get pissed and they're going to just never watch your content ever again, okay? They are looking for strategy, okay? And I'm going to break this down which each of these groups need. The 2 to 3s, they need strategy. They want that one chess piece move that you have studied your whole life that could help move their business up 20%, go from 1 million to 1.2 million. It's a huge amount. If you can just get that one little adjustment, right? The 1 to 2s, they need tactics, they need skills, they need you to teach them the unique tips and tricks, okay? And then the 0 to 1s, they need mindset. They need told that they can be great, that business is awesome, you can get a hot chick and a cool car and all these different things. They just need to get started. So you're seeing kind of these 3 groups. The 0 to 1s, they haven't started yet and they need mindset. The 1 to 2s, they've started, but they need skills to get to the next level. But the 2 to 3s, they need chess moves. They need to figure out how you can help them on the board. Now here's the problem. If you do not know who you are talking to, you need to be very intentional. Because if you try to talk to too many, you're going to piss them off. One's going to get pissed off over the other. If you try to talk to the 0 to 1s, but also the 2 to 3s, the 2 to 3s are going to get annoyed that you're telling them 3 tricks to get a girlfriend, right? They want to know how to scale ROAS with the hammerhead strategy, with the double closer VSL 360 no scope funnel. And then the 0 to 1s are going to be like, what? I'm not listening to that. I don't even know what I just heard. You know what I mean? And then the 1 to 2s, like, they are so hungry for skills. Like, they are going to follow and absorb the person who gives them the most sauce, basically, right? The most tactics, the most tricks, the copywriting frameworks, all of these different things. Now, this is the mistake I see creators make, especially really successful creators.